This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. It's been a while since I've done an unboxing video. I think the last ones I did were those Faisley Telecaster style guitars. So I've got a guitar to unbox here, but before we get into that, I wonder if you can guess what it is. That's where it came from, guitar, but it's not quite a full-size guitar box. Is it some kind of 3/4 size guitar? Well, let's find out.
Go on, lad, way out.
So as you can see, as you probably already knew because I let the cat out the bag on the live stream a couple of weeks ago, this is an Eart. Is it Eart or Eart? Their headless guitar, the GW2. I didn't buy this guitar. I was contacted by a viewer of the channel, ex-student of mine actually, good friend of the channel. He's called Dave and he lives in Hong Kong. And he said he'd come into a little bit of money and he would love to buy a guitar to get reviewed on the channel, and then the guitar then gets passed on to Zoe's Place Baby Hospice, that charity round here that I support. So he's just said, send me a link to whichever guitar you fancy reviewing. So I've been hearing a lot of stuff about the Eart brand of guitars, you know, all the kind of glowing reviews that you hear about them, and this model in particular. So I thought, well, yeah, let's pull the trigger on that. It was on my to-do list anyway, so I thought, let's go for it. I unboxed the guitar yesterday, and I've been playing it in lessons and so on, and come to a few first impressions. First of all, you know, I'll give you a brief rundown of the spec. I'll put a full link in to the spec in the description. But just looking at my notes here, you've got a roasted Paduke body with this is a poplar veneer. It is as thin as a cigarette paper, but it's still got like a nice kind of, you know, nice bit of kind of grain action going on there. We've got a 5-piece maple and Paduke neck. You can see it goes kind of, well, the two kind of darker stripes are the Paduke and the other kind of parts of the neck are the maple. We have a rosewood fretboard with a compound radius, 25.5-inch scale. We get a 0 fret and a bone nut, stainless steel frets, and a pair of Alnico 5 humbuckers and a 3-way switch. No coil tapping or coil splitting or anything going on here. It's just kind of straight up 3-way switch, and that's what you get. Out of the box, the action and the setup on the guitar was, well, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. The reason it's not a 10 out of 10 is because if I do this, you might be able to hear a bit of fret buzz. That's the only fret buzz anywhere on this guitar. The low E string at the 12th fret, but if I just turn the guitar's volume up a little bit, it's not interfering with the amplified tone of the guitar. So you could, I think, make the case that it simply doesn't matter. If it's not interfering with the amplified tone, then why bother? So, you know, really good setup. I mentioned the frets earlier, so let's have a look at those. This is one of the things, this is almost the signature of this Eart brand of guitars, the way they sort of finish off the ends of the frets in that sort of beautiful hemispherical manner there. You know, the neck with the compound radius and everything feels, and those frets and the stainless steel and everything, it feels like a much more expensive guitar than the 350 quid that these cost. While we're talking about other things that make this guitar kind of unique. Let's have a look at the bridge. Obviously, there are no tuners up here because, you know, they're down here. Talking about tuners, if you, like me, are you know, regularly tune your guitar with one of these things, a headstock tuner, then it is a bit of a faff around to get the headstock tuner mounted where there's no headstock. But you will kind of clip it on kind of tenuously if you're careful. But yeah, let's have a look at the bridge. You can see that's where the tuning action takes place with those thumb wheels at the back there, and we have stored magnetically in the side of the bridge. We have, where are we? This little kind of tool here, that crank that you can see, kind of poking out the back of one of those tuners. You just put it in, and you use it to turn the you know, the kind of thumb wheel round. That is where the problems, you know, not exact problems, but it's those thumb wheels are ridiculously stiff to turn with your thumb. You need, really speaking, to tune the guitar to use that little crank there. And as you can see, if I just point the camera down, there it is there. It's kind of stores magnetically in the side of the bridge like that. So, you know, if you're careful, you're probably not going to lose it, but it is the sort of thing that is likely to get lost, and then, you know, you're kind of going to have to find some other way of turning those thumb wheels. I personally, I mean, this is a beautiful guitar to play. We're going to hear what it sounds like in a moment, but I don't see what problem is being solved by getting rid of the headstock. You know, having the tuners down here rather than up here. Is this guitar any easier to tune? Well, frankly, it's a little bit harder to tune than if I was just to go like that up there, because, you know, you've got to kind of get the little tool out of its niche and, you know, use that. And if you lose that, well, it is a bit of a pain. So it does seem a bit gimmicky to me, but that said, the guitar is, I mean, just look at the balance on that guitar. Okay, it stays put. Maybe that's the advantage of not having the headstock. But that said, I have plenty of guitars in here that do have headstocks where I can do that, and it stays perfectly balanced anyway. The neck is absolutely, well, the notes I've written down here for the playability are extremely, underlined, exclamation mark, comfortable neck, and then underneath that, addictive playability. Slick, fast, and smooth. And, you know, it is a guitar that once you pick it up, you really don't want to put it down. It's got like a lot going for it in that score. Let's have a listen to how it sounds. I'm plugged into, at the moment, the Marshall DSL-1 combo on the Classic Gain channel. And as you can see, the volume is cranked, and as is my particular way of doing things, I like to use the guitar's volume control to clean things up. So let's see how we fare on that score. You'll see me, I won't explain what I'm doing, you'll see me kind of moving through the pickup selector and, you know, kind of messing with the volume control, so you can kind of draw your own conclusions on what the guitar sounds like. So here we go. So there you go. Those are the kind of sounds it makes. Now, one thing that surprises me is that, probably like most of you, I watched the Philip McKnight review of this very model of guitar, and he was saying how bright it sounded. I'm thinking exactly the opposite. You know, especially on the bridge pickup, that's what he mentioned, that the bridge pickup sounded really kind of bright and trebly. I think it's exactly the opposite. I find this a very, very dark sounding guitar, to the point that when you try and clean up the sound with a volume control, it does go a little bit woolly and a little bit muddy. So as you know, in the past, I've had these guitars in for you know, kind of evaluation and review, and I end up buying them off the charity, you know, rather than kind of giving the guitar to Zoe's place. I give them the money and keep the guitar. If I were to do that with this, and the jury is still out, then there would have to be, I suspect, probably, you know, upgrading the electrics. The pickups themselves, you know, when we're on kind of full throttle, don't sound too bad. I do prefer Alnico 2 humbuckers to Alnico 5, but you know what, I don't think I've got a guitar in here with Alnico 5 humbuckers, so it would be a different voice to have. But there would have to be some electronics upgrades, upgrade the pots, you know, throw in a treble bleed and so on, because it does get a little bit too just dark for my taste when you clean the sound up. And I'm still, you know, not convinced about the tuning happening down here. As I say, I don't see what problem is being solved by, you know, getting rid of this portion of the guitar. It balances beautifully, but then again, so does this, you know. And I could pick up any number of guitars that I've got in here where, you know, it just, you can take your hands away and you don't have to, you know, sort of physically support the guitar and hold it up in order to play it. So, I mean, am I missing something here? Am I, you know, kind of, have I missed some obvious, you know, advantage that this kind of design of guitar gives? Because I mean, it feels beautiful to play, but just I don't get this whole thing. It's like, why? But you know what? I can just about forgive the muddy sound, because that's easily fixed, and I can kind of put up with the you know, the kind of fiddly tuning down here, simply because of the feel of this neck. It is probably one of the most comfortable necks I've ever played on any guitar. It really is utterly sublime. But I just wish this neck was on a different guitar. But they do make other models, don't they, with, I believe, the similar sort of neck profiles and dimensions. So yeah, maybe that's something to think about. I'll keep you posted. Anyway, that is my first impressions and unboxing of the Eart GW2 headless guitar. It's Thursday today, or will be when you're watching this. Coming up on Sunday, you're going to see the full review with all of the kind of all the weights and measures. What does it weigh? What's the neck profile? What's the nut width? And you know, what's it sound like in a mix and all of that sort of stuff. That's coming up on Sunday, so stay tuned for that. But till then, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Thank you especially to Dave in Hong Kong, who stumped up the purchase price for this guitar to allow me to review it. Thank you, Dave. You are a gentleman and a scholar. And that is pretty much it for today. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not drop me a like while you're at it? Don't forget, as always, the live stream tomorrow, every Friday at 5 p.m. UK time, where we drink beer and talk about music and guitars. What a great way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.